to Gill Space. We are doing part 2 today, so this is going to be interesting because I just read the first point and it's it's funny, but maybe to be fair, all of these points are subjective and maybe it applies to me, but it doesn't apply to you. So 20 things, actually it's going to be more than 20 things that I've learned and wish I knew sooner. So let's get into it. Woo! If you are new, welcome to my space. I'm in my room now. I actually realized that I can film in my room and not the spare room, so there's that too. Didn't think it through. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Yay! This is for you. Hug is for you. I hope everyone is doing well. And if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Click the notification bell down below and the notification. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know every time that I post a video. Let's go. Let's get into the bit. Okay, number 21, but I'm just gonna say number 1. Is most of the time when things don't work out and you've given a 100%, it says more about the other person than it does about you. Self-explanatory. Next one is take lessons from the past but don't live in the past. That's actually a big one because you can live, I wouldn't say live vicariously through someone else, but you can learn things through other people's problems so that you don't have to go through them. But if you do learn something, make sure that you take as much as you can away from that experience, but don't live in that period. Be present and move forward. Pretty much it. Number 3 is the harder you try to hold on to something, the easier it's going to go. So yeah, that's one thing I've also learned, that if things aren't easy, there's obviously a reason why, number 1. But also number 2, if you try and force things, they won't go your way, that's for sure. Yeah. How's that sigh? That sigh was quite hectic. I wonder what that means. Number 4 is not everyone has life figured out. We have to go through the mess to find the beautiful bits, but also there are beautiful bits in the messy bits, as well as the good things. You gotta find those diamonds in the rough, give them a little shine. You think it's coal, but actually it's some diamond there. It's got to grind it down just a little. 5 is be gentle, because you never know what people are going through. Rather kill people with kindness, and just something you can say can change someone's mood like this, especially if they aren't in the right headspace. They can take things the wrong way. So if you just say good things and kind things most of the time, you will be good, and it will probably help them more than you know, because people don't tend to share their problems with the world, which is sad, because even me, when sometimes I need to ask for help, I don't, and it's something I am getting good at, so that's cool. Number 6 is pick your heart. This sounds weird, but the other day my mom came to visit, so she was telling me that she read this thing that said pick your heart, choose your heart. So marriage is hard, but divorce is hard. What are the other ones? think it was like success is hard, but failure is hard too. So you can understand where I'm going with this. Everything, there's always two sides to a coin, you know. It's never going to be easy on both sides. So you just got to choose which hard you are going to push through and break down the wall and succeed, really. Number 7 is how and who do you, oh no, how do you see yourself being in the future, or how does your ideal self look? Everyone always tries to work really hard towards that instead of just start being that person now. You don't have to wait for whatever to happen. If you start being that person now, by the time you look back, you're going to be so surprised and be like, oh, flip, I didn't even know I was that kind of person, because it's like a fake it till you make it kind of thing, you know? You exude and portray a certain person that you want to be until it just becomes you, you know, it's just who you are, really. So it's a good one. Number 18. I don't know, I think I'm going to stop with the numbers, but you get the point. Do everything with 100%. Laugh 100%. Cry 100%. Be present 100%. Whatever you do, just make sure that you give it your all, because you'll always be disappointed if you don't, and you'll always look back and wonder why you didn't, or you didn't get as much out of that experience as you could have if you just had given yourself the permission to do everything at 100%. And I feel like it's only fair to do that, because otherwise, why are you holding back? What's keeping you from being fully involved in the experience and just absorbing everything you can like a sponge? Okay. Number 9 is listen to how people handle certain situations. This lends an ear to the other point I said, not live vicariously, but learn through other people's problems. Listen to how people solve problems, because you never know, you could go through something similar and then you don't have to go through the hardship that they went through, and you can come out the other side. So make sure that you listen to how people solve problems. Smart one. So you don't go through the same mistakes and you don't go through all the hardships. I promise you, it's a good point. Alright, number 10 is it takes so little effort to be kind, and that's always one thing I make sure that I do. I try and be as kind as possible, because I know that if you're being cruel or you're being horrible, you're going out of your way to do that. Whereas kindness is quite easy, you don't have to really think about it. But if you are being cruel and horrible, or talking behind someone's back, you're actually exerting a lot more energy to do that than if you were to just be kind and not say anything, you know? It's consider that energy and use it for something more proactive and productive. Yep. Alrighty. Number 11 is appreciate the small and inconsequential mundane things. You can learn to appreciate the small things. When big things happen, you're going to just appreciate it even more, because the small victories in life will bring so much more joy. And when big, huge, ginormous, monumental events in your life happen, you are going to be more receptive and you're going to be more joyous and you're going to appreciate it more than if you were only looking for those big moments, those big milestones. So the small things, they add up and they count, and you should appreciate them. Number 12 is don't be afraid to ask for help. People love to help. You just have to check your pride in at the door and ask people for help, because people know a lot more things than you give them credit for, and they do. If you're feeling down or you're feeling like you're stuck or you're confused, people will always lend their ear and give their 2 cents, and you never know, it could actually just help you out. So don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a big one. Don't be stubborn like me sometimes. I've gotten better at that though, thank goodness. Number 13 is, if you don't understand, speak up. And it's never wrong to say that you don't understand something, especially like remember in school when if you didn't understand a concept, just carried on instead of asking for help because you would be seen as, I don't know, not comprehending something or whatever. But like sometimes you just need to reword it, and if someone looks down at you for not understanding something because of how they worded it or whatever, that's on them. It's got nothing to do with you. So ask for help and ask them to maybe explain it in a different way until you understand the concept, Yeah, it's a big one. People just like to assume that you will understand something right off the bat or straight one time through, but that's not always the case. So you gotta be lenient when teaching other people this concept, but also when you don't understand something, speak up and say something, because you don't really want to be there not understanding something. So tips with Gill. Alright, number 14 is, people are actually more focused on themselves than they are on you. So when you feel like people are watching you and judging you, which they're probably judging 100%, but watching you, not really, they're actually more focused on themselves. Especially, I've noticed this quite a lot in the gym. I obviously put on my headphones and I get into my zone and I don't really look at what people are doing. I'm just focusing on myself. And the other day I looked around and I actually noticed that everyone's just focusing on themselves and focusing on what they're doing. And when you feel like self-conscious, like everyone's watching you, they actually really aren't. Maybe a little side glance, but every now and then, but generally they will be focusing on what they're doing. So focus on you, stay in your lane. It's true. Don't be afraid to do things alone. Take yourself on dates. Go to the places that you want to go. Go see the things you want to see. Like, if you keep waiting around for someone to do it with you, you're never going to end up doing it. So take yourself on a date. Take yourself on an adventure. Do what you want to do, because there's no better time than the present. And like I said, you're never going to get to it if you're constantly waiting on someone else or seeing who's available. So be happy in your own company and just do your things on your own. It's okay. You will survive. It's actually quite fun. You get to meet a lot of cool people if you do solo things. Number 16 is, everyone starts off as a beginner. Yeah, this is quite a concept, because you actually forget that everyone starts at 0 and works their way up. No one ever just starts off straight off at 100% or 50%, Especially, obviously, with exercise, it's a good one, because you aren't really strong when you start off in the beginning. And the more time and the more dedication you put into it and the more motivated you are, the better you get. And that's life, really. Everyone starts off on a level playing field, and you got to work your way up. And it's all about how motivated you are, how dedicated you are, how badly do you want it, So take it easy on the beginners, because you were there once, and I'm pretty sure you will remember the feeling of being scared or being confused or just being self-conscious or whatever. Yeah. Everyone's on the journey, but it all start off as a little newbie. Number 17 is, don't be so hard on yourself. There's always tomorrow. If you feel like you wanted to get so many things done today and you didn't get them done today, there's always tomorrow for you to do it as well. Especially also if you overate today, you can correct it tomorrow. Like, everyone is so worried about like the today. Like, there's always tomorrow. Like, I mean, yes, you never really know when you're gonna leave the earth or whatever. You don't even really know what's gonna happen. But why are you gonna put that extra pressure on yourself when you know that possibly you do have tomorrow? So it's a good one to think about. Number 18 is mean what you say. And if you say you're going to do something or be somewhere, follow through and actually stick to your commitments and make sure that people know that if you say something that you are going to do it. You're not going to, it's not just one of those ones of saying things, I'm going to do this, and it never really happens, never comes into fruition or never comes into reality, So make sure that when you speak, you are saying something that you mean, and if it requires an action, that you actually follow through and you do that action. People will respect you for it, and they will know that you are a man or a girl or a person of their word. So stick to that, like I was going to say like a Bible, but everyone doesn't really follow a Bible, but you get the point. Number 19 is be open. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to cross your path. You never know who you're going to meet. So closing yourself off is just, I was going to say selfish, but it probably is selfish, but also you just miss out on so many things if you aren't open and you aren't willing to try something new or meet someone new, have a conversation with someone that you wouldn't normally speak to. Let it sink in. Absorb it. Number 40, oh, number 40, but number 10 is, oh shit, it's number 20. It's number 20, sorry. Number 20 is, it's never too late. If you want to do something, there's always the now, there's always the future, and people are always scared to just go after what they want. So it's never too late, guys. If this is the sign that you needed to start something or do something that you've always wanted to do, I got you. This is it. This is your sign. It's time to do whatever it is you've been putting off, or something that you've always wanted to do. Do it. Number 21 is just start. Take it piece by piece. Start small. There's the analogy of the elephant. Is how do you eat an elephant? You eat it piece by piece. You don't just try and eat the whole thing at once. You're gonna get overwhelmed and you're gonna feel sick, whatever. So you start slowly, and you slowly do whatever it is you need to do, because it's people, I do as well. As soon as I look at the whole picture, I get overwhelmed and I'm like, no, back away, I don't really want to do this. Whereas if you break it down into small, manageable chunks, small pieces, you will be more likely to do it and get it finished. Facts. Facts on facts on facts on facts. Number 22 is you. Two little ducks. If you play bingo, it's two little ducks. Install healthy habits and practices. This is a big one. If you implement these kind of practices and habits in your life, it's much easier for you to do them. They say it takes about 21 days to create a habit and 60 days for it to be made into like solid concrete, to be for it to be easy after that. I think it's 60 days if I remember correctly. I read that in the 5 a.m. club. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's a good book. I haven't finished it yet, but it's almost done. Yeah. Once you hit that 60-day, so it's like 2 months, 60-day hurdle, it'll be like a breeze. You won't even have to think about it. It'll be second nature. It's unconscious. It's installed in your hard drive, which, I mean, your brain, your head, whatever. It'll be just easy, and then you can start working on a new practice or habit that you want to implement. It's a good practice to have. Number 23 is, if there's a will, there is a way. If you really want something to happen, you will make it happen. It will maybe take a little bit of the out-the-box thinking or a different perspective, but there is always some sort of way to get something done, whatever you want. So if you are willing and you are dedicated, you can make it happen. You can make it, get it done. Number 24 is, don't apologize as a courtesy. I know it's a polite thing to do, to just always apologize, but if you aren't actually sorry, there's no point in saying you're sorry. Or if you say something and someone takes offense, it's almost a default setting to go, oh my word, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. But I have started doing something whereas I only say I'm sorry if I'm actually sorry, not if be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm running late. Just be like, listen, there was traffic, I got you when I can. You know what I mean? Don't even be like, I'm apologizing all the damn time. But obviously, when you do apologize, obviously for the correct reasons, 100% do that. But I don't really apologize for things that I'm not really sorry for. And also, once you notice how many times you say you're sorry when you aren't actually sorry and you're like aware of it, it's crazy. You say way more times than you think you would. And I catch myself even now still saying it when I'm not. I don't mean it. So, good, trying to be a girl in my word. And if I'm saying I'm sorry, then I'm actually sorry. Otherwise, you'll never trust what I say, I suppose. Well, I won't trust what I say because I'm not meaning what I'm saying. I'm mumbling. Okay, number 25 is play it out. Don't overinvest initially, and don't overthink it. Just let it play out how it's supposed to play out. Generally, you invest yourself you do invest yourself 100%, but sometimes you need to just keep back just a little bit. So if something doesn't seem to go right, you can adjust it, and it's not like you're deeply in it, you know, especially with like relationships. I do tend to do that. I go 100% and the other person isn't 100%, and then I'm left feeling horrible afterwards. So yeah, it's a big one. And number 26, because I'll just end it here, is impressions last, and first impressions are set in stone. So if you are nice to someone all the time, that impression will go a long way. And if you always put your best foot forward initially, people will take you in that way that you want. And if you want to be a certain person and you act that kind of way, people will see it. So be nice, guys. I promise you. You never know what's going on in people's lives. You never know. But impressions last, and it's hard to change an impression once it's been made. It's very, I'm trying to find the word, not set in stone, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. Woohoo! We got it done. Number 26, part 2. We did it. We did it. So thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you have any other points, please put them down in the comment box below so that I can see it and we can have a chat. If you feel like any of these points hit home, let me know also down in the comments below so we can discuss. So there's some good points in here. But it's a cloudy day in Cape Town. It's supposed to be summer now, but there's been rain for like the past 2 days, so it's been interesting. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching this week's video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm sending you love, hope, joy, and well wishes, everything that you want. You can achieve it. I promise you can do it. If you need an extra sign, here it is. 2020, I said it was going to be great. It actually has. Like I always say in all my other videos, it's all about the mindset, and if you want it to be great, it will be great. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next week. Woo woo! Bye guys.